Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media coming to you live from South Africa.
The time is just gone 8:21 a.m. and this morning we are revisiting Shariah medical aid and looking at it from a tax perspective. What sort of tax benefits there are when we're talking about Shariah medical aid? And we're joined on the line by Ahmed Amanjee from the Ammanah Islamic Financial Solutions. Brother Ahmed, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you. Welcome to the show this morning.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. And Jummah Mubarak to you and your listeners as well.
Yes, the last time we obviously spoke about Shariah medical aid and we spoke about Discovery and its offerings as far as Shariah medical aid is concerned. And when we talk about medical aid, looking at it from a tax perspective, it's important, for people to understand, and also in terms of including Shariah medical aid from a tax perspective. Now, just I know, by now many people have already completed their tax returns and refunds and the like as well. But, going forward, medical aid, an important aspect as far as tax is concerned?
It definitely is. So with regard to your medical aid and tax, how it works is, when you've got a medical aid, firstly, your entire contribution that's paid for the medical aid is not tax deductible. Right? Secondly, whatever is not paid by the medical aid. So during the course of the year, when you've got the medical aid and you go to a pharmacist or a doctor and the medical aid doesn't pay for that and you have to pay. So for whatever co-payment you pay for yourself out of your pocket, you get tax returns on that at the end of the year.
I think what is important for people to understand is sometimes, we, throughout the entire year, we incur certain medical expenses, medical costs, and we don't seem to take, note of these expenses, or we don't keep the receipts or the slips or the invoices, whatever it may be. And this is very, very important. And comes the end of the tax year, and we know what is happening with SARS these days as well. They've become very, very strict and, wanting, obviously, supporting information, supporting documentations, and especially those who are contributing to medical aid, who are paying taxes. It's important that, people obviously keep these invoices, these receipts, these slips, and keep a note of what they've been spending throughout the year.
100% right. It is important to keep all your slips. Another thing that I advise my clients always is, if you're not going to keep the slips, every time you go to a doctor, you go to a pharmacy, put it through the medical aid, whether the medical aid is not going to pay for it or not. So let's say, for argument's sake, you've got a hospital plan, and the hospital plan doesn't pay for anything out of hospital. So put it through your medical aid, let your medical aid come back and say, we're not going to pay for this. That way, at the end of the year, you get a tax certificate from your medical aid, and all of those claims that you put through that were not paid is already on your tax certificate. So if you don't have the slips, you'll have it on your tax certificate. So it's just another way of having that as a backup for your returns. And you can then just submit that tax certificate to SARS when your returns are done at the end of the year.
Right. Now, let's just talk about Shariah medical aid and, in terms of, how this is obviously looked at by SARS and in terms of tax benefits and tax deductibility, Ahmed.
So with regard to the Shariah aspect and the tax, there's absolutely no difference as compared to your normal one. They're not looking at it in a different way or anything like that. And it still will be treated as per your normal medical aid.
Now, also, I think the whole question surrounding, those who are obviously your beneficiaries and in terms of tax credits and the like as well. And, sometimes we all get confused by these fancy terms that SARS actually throws at us in terms of medical tax credits and, those type of things. And possibly just try to get some sort of an understand as to, how do we understand or how do we interpret these medical tax credits?
So a simple way for you to interpret a tax credit is it's a rebate that reduces the amount of tax that one pays. So when you get the tax credit from SARS, it's just basically what they're going to do, reduce the amount of tax that you're going to pay. So another thing is if you're paying for medical aid for somebody else as well. So a lot of people are paying for their parents' medical aid or extended family members as well. They do get tax credits on that as well, and they'll get a rebate back from SARS.
Mm. Provided, obviously, you've got all the supporting information, Ahmed.
Of course. So you get the supporting information to show that you are paying for these people's medical aid, and you get that rebate back from SARS.
Now, just look at it from Amanah's perspective, and I know obviously Amanah has been offering, Sharia compliant medical aid for quite a while now. And the last time we spoke, the including of the Discovery products and people switching over, who have been with Discovery and given the opportunity to switch over to the Sharia medical aid offering of Discovery, and that is what is happening. What, from January?
It is happening from the 1st of January. We are nearing the end of the year, and Discovery allows us to do changes to medical aid, because I'm sure you're aware now that you can only do an upgrade or a downgrade at the end of the year to whichever plan that you want. So we're nearing the time where we need to submit all of it in by the 15th of December. And at the same time, we want to get all our clients and all the people out there on the Sharia arrangement as of the 1st of January 2021.
Right. Now, just for people obviously wanting to switch, and we know that the tax year normally ends in February, so they will make the switch from January, and it wouldn't impact on anything that they've done throughout the year from a tax point of view.
No. So like I said, it's not going to affect your tax at all. This won't affect it, and they can do the switch, and everything will be perfectly fine.
Right. Ahmed, is there any way people can actually maximize their tax benefits from a deductibility perspective as far as medical aid goes?
Well, as I said, when it comes to the medical aid, it's the tax that you're going to get back is from whatever the medical aid does not pay. So that's the time that you're going to get a rebate, and then also if you're paying for somebody else. So to maximize that is make sure that all your slips that you get from whatever medical thing that you are purchasing, or any consultation that you're going for, that you're not putting through the medical aid, keep those slips, number one. Number two, submit it to the medical aid. Let the medical aid know that you went and you did this, so they can have a record of it as well. So at the end of the year, you get it on your tax certificate and you can then submit that to SARS.
Exactly.
Number three, also if you are paying for somebody else as well. So if you're paying for your parents, paying for your extended family, get all of that information and submit it. If you're doing it your tax return yourself at the end of the year, you have when you're doing your e-filing, you can submit it on the e-filing. If you've got an accountant, the accountant will sort it out for you as well.
Okay, and also just looking at it from Amanah's perspective in terms of providing, some sort of guidance to your clients, particularly those who have taken out now medical aid, and providing them with some sort of direction and guidance as far as tax is concerned, and planning from a tax perspective when it comes to medical aid?
Well, the clients can, of course, give us a call or drop us an email. We will advise them on this as well, on how to maximize with the tax and get that return back from SARS every single year.
Well, Ahmed, Jazakallah for that update. I think this is important. And as I said, I was hoping we could have possibly have this discussion about 2 or 3 months ago when people were submitting their tax returns, because I'm sure, many people may have actually possibly missed the boat where they could have legally claimed certain deductions and benefited from a medical aid.
100%. We should have heard it about 3 months ago. However, a lot of clients that have medical aid through their company, in most cases, the company, what they do is they would submit the tax certificate to SARS. And I know this year with SARS, they had something called an auto assessment when you log onto e-filing, and hopefully it was there for the clients already. But going forward, I think the clients should keep this in mind, and also remember that Ammanah is here to assist.
I think the only danger as far as this auto assessments was, sometimes people just accept it and just let it go through without possibly thinking about, some way of obviously making certain amendments, particularly when it comes to incorporating additional out-of-pocket medical expenses that they may have incurred, and possibly could have even benefited them a lot more by way of refunds.
100%. So there was a lot of miscalculations on their auto assessments that I've read about. That SARS had to relook at it, and they needed to redo the calculations for the client. But what I was getting at was that the tax certificate from the medical aid was included in there.
Well, Ahmed, Jazakallah for that. If anybody wishes to contact you, how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. They can call through to our offices. It's 011 837 7865. They can send us an email, info@amana.co.za if it's with regards to the medical aid, health@amana.co.za.
Well, Ahmed, Jazakallah, have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah. And as always, we thank you. We appreciate your time with us here on Assalam Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Barakallah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ahmed Amanjee from Ammanah Islamic Financial Solutions joining us this morning. We come back, we take a look at what is called love jihad in India, where police in India have made their first arrest under a new interfaith marriage law.
What makes Randari Jewelers